Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 13 of Through the Bible. Today we're going to be looking at Genesis 49 and 50. So we see Jacob's closing words to his sons, his final blessings, if you will, sometimes not so much blessings. A few of them of note. One is Reuben, who is the oldest and should be the inheritor of the double blessing, the leader of the group after Jacob's death. And here's what Jacob says to him. He says, "You excel in prominence and you excel in power." And that would be a very positive thing. But then he turns around and says, "You are turbulent as water. You will not excel." So we've already seen before that Jacob has taken the two children of Joseph and made them his own and basically distributed the blessing with them. And now we see that Reuben has basically forfeited his firstborn rights because of sleeping with his father's concubine earlier. And Jacob points that out here. He says, "You're turbulent as waters, you will not excel." In other words, his character is not stable. So even though he has all the trappings of someone who should be a leader, although he has all the things that he should excel in life, because his character, he's not going to get there. One of my mentors, Bishop Tony Miller, always taught us that your gifts can take you places that your character can't keep you. And that's the case in Reuben here. We also see this connection that's kind of interesting in Deuteronomy 21:17. We're going to see when the law comes in, it's going to say that the unloved wife, the son of the unloved wife, must be recognized in the inheritance. And you can't help but wonder if this was just an exception that was already a part of their tradition, or if that was added in later because of what happened here with Jacob, or for some other reason. Then we see with Simeon and Levi, remember they're the ones that attacked and killed the village. He says their anger is cursed, for it is strong. So he's warning against that type of anger, and he says, "I will disperse them." Now the tribe of Levi does indeed get dispersed all throughout the promised land when they come in, as the tribe of Levi does not have a possession of their own, but instead gets broken up as the priesthood into the other tribes. Now, one thing that's interesting, though, is that passion gets converted to a passion for God, and that's a good thing. So sometimes our strengths can become our weaknesses unless they're turned over to God, and I believe that's what happened with the tribe of Levi. Once it was turned over to God, those passions became godly passions. He also said of Judah, "The scepter will not depart from Judah until he whose right it is comes." Now that's a fascinating one right there, because it is a prophecy of Jesus. Jesus would come in the line of Judah. He would become the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And so we see that prophecy taking place all the way back here in Genesis chapter 49. And then he gives blessings to the others, or prophetic words to the others, and then we see that Joseph dies and he is returned back to the family sepulcher. Now, when Joseph's brothers see that their father is dead, they're very concerned that Joseph's going to take advantage of this and kind of give them payback for the things that they did to him. When they kind of try to deceive him, that line of deception coming through again, when they try to deceive him, they say, "Well, Dad said that you should forgive us," basically is what's going on there. And it says that Joseph wept. And I love this right here, because when Joseph wept, what it showed is that 17-year-old boy who dreamed of his family bowing down to him was no longer enamored by the idea of power and that type of leadership. Instead, he had become a servant leader, and he assured them and he comforted them, and he said that he was going to take care of them. And then finally, we see that Joseph dies, and he makes them promise that when they leave when they leave Egypt for the promised land, that they are going to take his body with them and return him back to the place of his fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as well. And that concludes the book of Genesis. Next time, we're going to be looking at the book of Matthew. God bless you. Have a tremendous day.